And everybody has a platform. Yeah, everybody got something to say about the comedians that went over there. And they don't shut the up. So what? You know what I mean? You weren't asked, so shut up.
The latest episode of Spears and Steinberg tackled the curious intersection of comedy, cash, and cultural geopolitics triggered by the backlash against Bill Burr performing at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Aries Spears emerges as the articulate advocate for comedians navigating the fine line between financial necessity and public perception, delivering a defense that is part economic analysis, part common sense, and part let them eat cake, but not literally. We're talking comedy dollars here. Central to the discussion is Saudi Arabia's ambitious pivot from oil dependency to entertainment and sports investment. Caller Ryan posits, reasonably enough, that the Saudis are scrambling because oil isn't forever. Surprise. Spears and the host acknowledge that this oil depletion angle clarifies the urgency behind Saudi Arabia's aggressive spending on Western cultural exports. The logic is straightforward. If your national fortune is tied to a finite resource, diversifying your revenue streams isn't just prudent, it's existential.
What's up, guys? My name is Ryan. I'm from Vancouver, BC. I was just listening to your latest podcast, and I don't know. I'm working right now, doing my thing. But, you guys just really sparked something with me. And I just want to say hi to Andy, hi to Aries, hi to Mark, all of you guys. I think you're great conversationalists, and I really enjoy your podcast. So you guys were talking about, coming back to Riyadh and, is it a good thing? Is it setting something better for the culture of the world and for them and moving forward? And I do agree there's a lot of that. But I think there's one main point you guys are forgetting. They're running out of oil. So they have to expand into new markets because once the oil goes away, they got nothing, right? So that would explain why they're investing in Live Golf, to try to combat the PGA Tour. That's why they're, in the NBA now. That's why they, bought WWE. So as much as I love that, there's comedy being done in Saudi Arabia, you got to think that maybe they want to expand in that territory too. And maybe it is a little bit more about the money. And maybe Mark has a point. But regardless, I do understand what Andy was saying with the seed being planted. I just want to know if you guys were aware of that and what are your thoughts on that?
The podcast muses over why the Saudis didn't start sooner, concluding that hindsight is always 20/20, especially if your hindsight cost billions. While some might see these moves purely as financial transactions, Spears and the podcast argue there's a subtle cultural calculus at work. Yes, the money is the money, but the exposure to Western ideas may serve as a sort of cultural seeding. Dollars flowing into sports arenas and studios could, in theory, nudge toward dialogue and openness, however indirectly. Spears frames this not as a naive hope, but as a pragmatic engagement strategy. If you shut everyone out, you get neither money nor conversation.
First off, thank you, brother. I appreciate the love. I didn't know that. I did know that they were venturing off into other things, and I even saw where they said they want to put like $1 billion into like a movie studio out there in conjunction with Mark Wahlberg. I didn't know the part about the oil running out. So if that's the reasoning, I mean, look, man, if you bought your business, the point is to not go out of it. So whatever moves you got to make to further extend your business only seems like smart. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't blame them for that. I would even say, why wait till then? They should have been did that along with having the oil as a resource if they even still could have it. Branch off into other shit. I ain't mad at that.
There's still oil resources. They're not going dry tomorrow. Live Golf was the biggest one that made the biggest splash that's out there, but they've been investing for a long time. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're not going to stop the money. The money's what makes the world, this is what the world spins on, man. So, but if they're opening up their doors so that to more Western ideas and the money is coming this way anyway, if you're going to take the money, let's seed the culture because we would like it to be a little bit different. We would like it to be a little bit more of an open culture. And if they're inviting you to do that, take the opportunity. That was my point. Live Golf is doing great. There's no problems with it, right? So it's already here. It's not like we're saying should we not do this? We're doing it. So we have no opportunity to change this right now. This is the way the direction is going to go. They're going to make movies. They are going to do all these other things that they're talking about, and we're either going to go or we're not going to go. But if we can open up some more discord where we're speaking to each other and things are more peaceful, that's the goal, right?
The heart of Spears' defense lies in the comedians themselves. Performing in Riyadh, he argues, is largely a matter of self-preservation. Comedy isn't exactly a lottery-winning occupation for everyone. After agents, managers, and taxes take their cut, even high-profile comedians might end up with significantly less than the public imagines. For someone with family obligations, securing a boatload of cash is less about greed and more about survival. Leaving a nest egg, paying mortgages, and not explaining to the kids why dad turned down an absurdly lucrative offer. Critics, Spears insists, are mostly motivated by ego. Many comedians have already performed private shows in Saudi Arabia without fanfare, only now becoming targets when a big splash deal hits the news.
You know, as I always say, I love social media because it's the blessing and the curse. So I love it, but I also hate it, but I love it. You know, and everybody has a platform. Yeah, everybody got something to say about the comedians that went over there. And they shut the up. So what? You know what I mean? You weren't asked, so shut up. It's their business, and it ain't changing nothing. Bill Burr's fans are still going to be Bill Burr's fans. Joe Coy, myself, Gabriel Iglesias. You think that Kevin Hart's going to do what? Have a hard time filling his next arena? You think Dave Chappelle's audience at the turnstile going to slow down? Come on, man. You ain't stopping nothing, man.
You know what? I'm going to say this. This is an ego thing too, though, because you don't know how many comics have been over there, gotten paid big dollars for private shows that no one knew was happening.
Right.
And it's been going on.
Right.
So this one is actually said to the world, hey, we're trying to bring this into our community, into our country, into our culture, and to not bring that there. It's been there.
If Bill Burr makes X amount of millions a year, you figure 10% to his agent, 10% to his manager, 37% in taxes. That's 60-something% of his money already gone. Then by the time they take all of that, he hasn't made $1 million. He said $1 million a year. He goes, he hadn't made $1 million. He's probably taking home $400,000. Then he's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got mortgage. So if you're in that position and it's your job to take care of your family and leave your kids a nest egg, if somebody offers you a boatload of cash to and he goes, humans, we self-preserve. And if this is an opportunity for self-preservation for you and your family, what would you do?
In sum, the podcast episode balances humor, economics, and cultural reflection. Spears' defense is less a moral justification than a practical one. Comedians act out of self-preservation. Critics often act out of ego. And Saudi investments, while financially motivated, carry incidental opportunities for engagement. The advice is clear and slightly cheeky. Get your paper, perform the jokes, and maybe, just maybe, plant some seeds along the way. Comedy survives, audiences endure, and the world keeps spinning, fueled by oil, ambition, and a well-timed punchline.